Hello everyone. If you are new here, my name is Holly Adams and I am a Algebra 1 teacher in Texas. This is going to actually be my first year teaching Algebra 1, but my third year teaching math. So I wanted to give you an in-depth classroom tour. If you missed my classroom setup videos, you can go watch them. They're going to be linked down below. I might also make them pop up here. Who knows what editing me is going to decide to do. But I'm going to do just like a general tour with music, like not really talking if you just want to see my room, and then afterwards I'm going to do the in-depth talking about everything tour. So pick your poison, you know what I mean? And now for the tour where I yap a lot about my classroom. So as you can see, there is the door. We do have a no cell phone policy that is pretty strict. It was actually set up by the state of Texas, so we don't have any control over it, but I am quite happy with it. I have a calendar right here, and then this is just kind of like has tissues, and we use cones as passes. That way, if you see a student in the hallway, you can automatically tell like what color cone they have, and it's color coordinated to different sections of the school since the school is so big. So for example, if a student needs to go to the nurse or the office, they have the blue one, and if they need to go to the bathroom, they have a yellow one, because the yellow one is this hall's bathroom. So if they're halfway across the school with the yellow cone, any teacher that looks at them is gonna be like, you're not supposed to be here. So then we have my agenda, objectives, whatever, and I have a math joke of the week, and I have already gotten like 5 or 6 different teachers that just like have walked past my room and they've just popped their head in and been like, okay, what's the answer to the joke? If you know, if y'all can even read that, if you can't read it, it says, what type of math do birds like best? Guess in the comments. Put your guesses in the comments and then I will let you know if you're right. Anyway, right here, we have my academic posters wall. I just put a bunch of posters up there. They're not necessarily super aligned with what we're doing. They're more like just there as a resource. The things that, like I'm going to be making anchor charts throughout the year, and those I'm going to also put up on the walls, just not this wall probably. Like they're probably gonna go against the back whiteboard because as you can see, I have a lot of empty space that I need to fill. Let's check out my word wall. My word wall, I printed out literally over 100 different like vocab words. So I'm obviously not just gonna put all of them up at once. I'm just putting the ones that align with our current unit up there. So those are the ones that I think align with unit 1, and then I'm gonna be changing them out as the year goes on. And if you weren't sure, I teach high school, just throwing that out there. I have my little like letter board. Why are y'all so far away? It's like this is my first time ever doing this. We're gonna squat. So here we have my letter board. Right now it just says welcome to high school. And I change that out with the season, try to keep it applicable to whatever's going on. This is just some of my stuff. And then here I added this little curtain because underneath the curtain is a microwave. So I'm hoping that having the curtain there will dissuade students from realizing that there's a microwave there and messing with it. Also, that's a lot cuter than having the microwave sitting there. Here is the start of the student station. So I have these 2 bins. This is where they're going to turn in any paper assignments, and this is where I'm going to put them after I've graded them for them to pick up. I have a trash can down here too, but that's not very exciting, so I'm not going to show you. And then over here I have these, I have these pink bins, and that is where students are going to pick up any papers that they need for the day. And then this is like the missing work area, where if they say they're absent on a Monday, then when they get here, all of the papers that we did on Monday will be here and they can just grab what they need. Here is my Sudoku board. I have instructions on how to play. I still would like to get examples of what it looks like examples of what is legal and not legal basically, but there's just been other things that I needed to do first. So I just have an easy one set up, and the idea is that they can come play at any time they have finished all of their work, or if they want to come during tutorial time or whenever, if we ever just have time, they can come work on the Sudoku. Right here I have all of the numbers. These are just like Velcroed on so they can play. And then here I have a little supply bin. It has glue stick and scissors, so this way I can just see there's 12. So at the end of class I can just do a quick glance over here and know if I got all my supplies back or not. I have like 20 to 23 students in all my classes, so obviously I'm hoping that some have their own and don't have to use mine. Otherwise, you know, they can share with a partner. So there is that. I do have my room set up in groups of 4 and they're numbered, but I love my little skip counting numbers. I don't think they're going to use them as much this year because they have calculators, but when I was teaching 7th grade, my students really loved referencing those. Then if you did watch my classroom setup videos, you will notice that this is very different. I got a desk from a classroom that had an extra, and I have stools on the other side, so if I ever need to pull a small group or have one-on-ones with students, they can just come right to my desk and sit with me. So I'm really excited about this. Also, it kind of extends my desk, so I have more room because these tables are quite narrow. It's probably hard to tell, but when I'm over here at my computer, there's no space for me to write. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just very happy that now I have this. And I really hope it works the way I think it will work. And then this is just my desk area. Nothing super exciting going on over here. I do have the beginnings of my wall over here, but right now it just has like important stuff, like informational stuff. I'm going to print out some pictures of like my family and bring them in and staple them to the wall. That way I can look at them. I don't know. But that has been my classroom tour. If you have any questions, if I didn't go into enough detail on any part of my classroom, please ask in the comments. I love your guys' suggestions. I have changed so much about my room based on the comments that y'all left on my setup videos. So thank you so much for those ideas. So any more ideas, feel free to put them down there, and any suggestions, questions, all that sort of stuff. I am very excited to start this year. I am actually starting tomorrow. By the time this is posted, hopefully, I will have already started school. So I will be back with an update at some point on how this setup kind of worked out, what I changed, what I'm keeping the same, all that sort of stuff. So if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and like it. And if you want to see more of these videos, make sure that you are subscribed so that I can see you in the next one. Bye.